This is the OTB Network.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this week's edition of Horses and Courses. I'm Anthony Mormino, sitting in for Gene Wood this week between the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness Stakes. But in other racing, this is the time of year for the next 5 months when racing just heats up. We have races to show you from Calder, from Chicago, Southern California, Northern California. We have a race from Woodbine for you and a couple lesser-known derbies from the Midwest. We're going to kick it off with a race from Calder Racecourse. Saturday they ran the Nancy Glitter. This is for older filly and mares. They were going 1 mile and a 16th on the main track.
And they're off in the Nancy's Glitter. Bay Street Gal on the far outside rushes right out for the lead. Sarah's Success at the rail, cooled by the pool between horses with Castlebrook, and 2 lengths to the rail, it's Sea Mist. They move to the clubhouse turn, and it's Bay Street Gal. It's opened up 1.5 lengths. Sarah's Success is in second position, 1 length to the outside, Castlebrook. It's 2 lengths back to Cool by the Pool, and 3 lengths to Sea Mist. They went the first quarter in 24 seconds flat, and they head for the backstretch with Bay Street Gal in front by 2.5. At the rail, Sarah's Success, 1/2 length to the outside, Castlebrook. Then there's a break of 5 lengths. It's Cool by the Pool, and 6 lengths to Sea Mist. They continue up the backstretch past the 5/8 pole. It's still Bay Street Gal in front, 1.5 lengths with Sarah's Success tracking second. Outside of her, it's Castlebrook. Then there's a gap of 6 lengths to Cool by the Pool and 7 lengths to Sea Mist. The half in 47 4. The pace is picked up a bit as they move to the far turn. Bay Street Gal leads by a length. Castlebrook now takes up the chase second. Toward the inside, it's Sarah's Success. Then Cool by the Pool moves up, and it's 8 lengths back to Sea Mist. Field moves toward the quarter pole now. It's still Bay Street Gal in front by 1.5 lengths. Castlebrook is second, moving on the outside. That's Cool by the Pool. Dropping back, that's Sarah's Success. Another 5 lengths. It's Sea Mist. They're in 3/4. They're 1:13 flat. They're at the top of the stretch of the Nancy's Glitter. Bay Street Gal and Cool by the Pool moves up alongside to get the lead. They move past the 8th pole. Cool by the Pool now leads by a length. On the inside, it's still Bay Street Gal second. In deep stretch, it's Cool by the Pool in front. Bay Street Gal easy second. Castlebrook wraps up. She's third.
Cool by the Pool for Marty Wolfson wins Saturday's Nancy's Glitter handicap. 9-2 betting choice. We had a short field of 5 with Sarah's Success at 4-5, a wide open race, but Cool by the Pool was able to seize the lead at the 8th pole and draw off to win by a comfortable 1 3/4 lengths as a final winning margin. Bay Street Gal finishes second at 2-1, the second choice in the wagering, 6.5 lengths in front of Castlebrook, who was the 5-1 fourth choice. Sarah's Success at 4-5, backed up under Cornelio Velasquez to run 5th and last. Fractions in here, 47 4, 113 flat. Not all that taxing, but Cool by the Pool able to win very easily. This runner is owned by the Town and Country Corporation, returns $11.20 with a final running time for the 1 mile and a 16th on the fast main track of 1:48.2. Now shipping up to Baltimore the week before the Preakness Stakes, and usually in years past, this would have been the weekend for the Pimlico Special. A race dropped down in Maryland for financial concerns. They were going to run the Hilltop Stakes. A big day on Saturday for Mario Pino. He took home a 6 races on Saturdays. He just lights up the Preakness racing surface. So let's go down to Baltimore for the running of the Hilltop Stakes.
And they're off in the Hilltop Stakes. Smart Grace bounces out on top in mid-pack of the fillies, and Weeder racing up there on the outside to second. In restraining order now bounces to third, and here comes Past the Virtue in between horses, taking fourth. Alpine Pass relatively unhurried in the early going, and True Sensation gets rank a bit there in between horses, bobbling just a little bit on the turf course. On the extreme outside, we have With Fun. In between horses is Licensed to Speed, some 7 lengths on the front. Oh, True Sensation didn't corner at all, and carrying wide there was Carney's Dancer. True Sensation carried Carney's Dancer way out as Nandan has settled down, and now here's Natombi, some 7 lengths from the front after some trouble on that first turn. A few fillies affected there. Nasty Sabrina racing second to last, and True Sensation drops out to trail the field. Smart Grace half-length advantage. Weeder's second, restraining order third. Alpine Pass in fourth, and under some restraint there, followed by Past the Virtue. Natombi, the favorite, is fifth and 6 lengths off the lead with a half mile to go. And it's back to With Fun, Licensed to Speed on the outside of that one. Then we go back to Nandan. Carney's Dancer, who was affected around that first turn, has 2 horses beaten at this point. True Sensation and Long Shot Nasty Sabrina trails the field as they work the rake past the 3/8 pole. Smart Grace from Weeder, restraining order. Natombi tugging 3 wide and coming with a run now. And here she comes, the favorite Natombi. Swinging into action, wide into the stretches, Natombi. Smart Grace trying to last, and Natombi's charging on the outside. Natombi to even terms with Smart Grace. Alpine Pass to the inside with 1 furlong to go. Natombi enjoying her work, and Natombi's just taking off now. Natombi in a good-looking win. Just a couple of cracks to keep her going here. The whip by Pino, and it's going to be Pino with 5 today, and Natombi in a convincing win in the Hilltop. Smart Grace was second in restraining order and With Fun.
Natombi, trained by the wizard Michael Dickinson, scores in the Hilltop Stakes with 3-year-old fillies at 6-5 for her backers, and a full field of 12. Seemed to be 3 or 4 horses bet on, and then a whole bunch of bombers in here. Natombi wins off to win by almost 4 lengths under Mario Pino. Smart Grace finishes second as the 3rd choice in the wagering. Then a nice long shot, restraining order, finished 3rd. Michael Dickinson, he spots his horses very well. They may not run as often as we like, but boy, when they are entered, they seem to be very sharp. Good, strong spits in this race. 1:11.1 for the 6 furlongs, a mile in under 1:36, and a final running time for the mile and a 16th on the firm turf of 1:42.1. Staying in the Mid-Atlantic region, we're going to go to Delaware Park for their running on the stakes of the Demetrius Stakes for 3-year-olds and up at $75,000.
And they're off in the Demetrius Stakes. Pretty good start for them all. All of them are vying for that lead across the track. Lake Carson's on the far outside. Chief J Strongbow, Max's Pal, Bobby's Buckaroo. 4 across the track. A gap of 2 to Storm and Odie, and Wild Current is the trailer. Bobby's Buckaroo with the rail now leads it by 3 parts over Max's Pal. Lake Carson now moving up on the outside, a closer third. Chief J Strongbow has retreated just a bit in fourth, and Wild Current and Storm and Odie, who likes to come from out of it, only about 5 lengths off the lead after an opening quarter and 22 flat. As they move into the turn, Lake Carson on the outside, Max's Pal, they're head-to-head. Bobby's Buckaroo couldn't keep pace in third. A gap of 2.5 to Chief J Strongbow. Wild Current on the inside, and Storm and Odie looking to rally. Max's Pal leads it by a head over Lake Carson. 3 to Bobby's Buckaroo. Storm and Odie begins to kick in now. Quickly going after the top 2. They've got a quarter to go. On the inside, Max's Pal. Lake Carson is there. Storm and Odie circling on the far outside, trying to run them both down. A furlong to go. Here comes Storm and Odie to take over. Lake Carson, Max's Pal, followed by Chief J Strongbow trying to kick in belatedly, but it's Storm and Odie beginning to edge away in the Demetrius, and Storm and Odie will win it under Jeremy Rose by 3.5 lengths. Wild Current up for second. Chief J Strongbow gets the show.
And Storm and Odie well back early in this pace of 22 flat, 45 for the half, was dead last up the backstretch, draws off to win by a very comfortable 4+ lengths at almost 7-1. Wild Current was a neck in front of Chief J Strongbow for old Worldwide Wrestling Federation fans. And at 3-5, a horse that we've seen run very well in New York. Lake Carson, shipped down for Richard Duttrow, was 3-5 on the board, but finished out of the money, returning some very, very healthy show prices down at Delaware Park on Saturday. Storm and Odie, trained by Michael Petro, owned by Timothy Cunningham, returns $15.80 with a strong final running time, clearing the field of 1:10.2. We're going to go north of the border to Woodbine, the Eclipse Stakes. Eclipse, the thoroughbred that almost all thoroughbreds disseminate now from. Stakes race for 4-year-olds and up. This was a main track event being run at a mile and a 16th.
There are for the Eclipse Stakes. Good beginning by all. Dream Launcher sprints to an early lead. Will Personality came away running in second position. On the game is third. Win City settles into stride in fourth. To the outside is Sea Run and the late running of Fleet's Dancer. Dream Launcher on a mission here. Loose on the lead. Opens up 7 lengths at the midpoint of the clubhouse turn. It is Dream Launcher, 23 seconds flat for the opening quarter mile. Leads it by 7 lengths into the backstretch. Will Personality is second. On the outside is On the Game, a Sea Run between runners. Then Win City, a Fleet's Dancers, a dozen lengths off the lead of the free-wheeling Dream Launcher as they continue along this Woodbine backstretch. Dream Launcher just by 4 now, through an opening half mile in 47 seconds flat. Will Personality is second, a Sea Run down on the rail in third, just 3 lengths off the lead. Then On the Game, Win City is angled to the outside. Fleet's Dancers still 10 lengths off the lead with 2.5 furlongs remaining. And here comes Will Personality to put Dream Launcher to the test. Will Personality on the outside, Dream Launcher to the inside. Back in third is Sea Run. Fleet's Dancers going to weave between horses as they come to the top of the stretch. And it's Will Personality who has taken the lead as they come to the final furlong. Dream Launcher is second. Then Win City. Fleet's Dancer continues to close but is running out of real estate. Will Personality, a 10-1 upset winner of the Eclipse. Fleet's Dancer not in time second. Dream Launcher third and Win City fourth.
Little Personality. John Cardella trains. Pat Husbands rides, one of my favorite jocks after winning the Metropolitan Mile last year on Exciting Story at better than 50-1. Well, Little Personality wasn't 50-1, but he was better than 10-1 in this short field of 6. He was the long shot in a very highly contentious race where the other 5 runners were all between 6-5 and 9-2 on the board, but Little Personality, who was second, leading the second pack as Dream Launcher was way in front, 23 flat, 47. Little Personality leading the second pack was able to take over the lead at the just outside the 8th pole and draw off to beat a Fleet's Dancer by a little more than 1 length. A Fleet's Dancer was 1 length ahead of the very early big leader Dream Launcher. The 6-5 choice, Win City, who we saw last summer win a classic up at Woodbine, finished 4th as the 6-5 chalk. Little Personality returns $23.40 for his backers. Final running time of this mile and 16th event for 4-year-olds and up was 1:44.2. Next up, we're going to go to Churchill Downs. Their stakes race on the weekend was the Matt Win. This is for 3-year-olds. Sprinting, though, going 6 furlongs.
Off and running in the Matt Win. Co-Jet out to take the lead, joined and headed now by Day Trader. Rich's half up the inside, third to the feed. A close-up fourth early. Still Be Smoking fifth, a neck in front of Medlin Road. And 2.5 back to Saturday Hero, 8 lengths off the pace. At the back of the pack, quickly up the backside. Co-Jet and Craig Perrette clearing off by a length and a half. To Rich's half second. And Lafitte between horses, third. Day Trader 3 wide, a close-up fourth by 3 to Still Be Smoking. Medlin Road on the outside, worked on early. 2 5 back to Saturday Hero. The quarter in an unbelievable 20 and 4/5 seconds for Co-Jet out by 2. Day Trader starts to reel him in second. Rich's half is racing in third by 2.5 more. Medlin Road up into fourth, 3 wide, and Still Be Smoking behind that. Saturday Hero comes on and the feet at the top of the lane. Co-Jet flat to the boards is collared by Day Trader on the outside. Co-Jet, Day Trader pushing on by to take the lead. Medlin Road, then Still Be Smoking. Rich's half at the inside. Half mile in 44 seconds, flat furlong to go. Day Trader Calvin Burrell peeking back for the competition. He's clear by 3, and Day Trader going on to win the first running of the Met win. Day Trader wins it by daylight, 2.5 in front of Medlin Road. Still be smoking third in 109-2.
And the winner of the Matt Win Stakes, Day Trader, 5-1 under Calvin Burrell, this offspring of Phone Trick, who figures to go very early, very young, very precocious, bumped at the start, was stalking off the pace, and then drew off to win rather handily by a little bit less than 2 lengths. Saturday Hero for Pat Day was well back early, the 8-5 chalk, another favorite running off of the board on our weekend stakes races. Cojet, you weren't missing the early quarter mile of 20-4. If you blinked, you certainly missed it. Shaded 21 seconds. You do get that at Churchill Downs. They have a long run into the first teletimer tripping, but Cojet just flying. 44 for the half, and that did it for that 13-1 shot. But leading the second pack was Day Trader off of that early lead for Calvin Burrell, was able to pick it up, made the lead early, drew off, and then Medlin Road, who finished second, was cutting into that lead, but safely was second as the 7-2 third choice in the wager, and Still Be Smoking for Willie Martinez finished third, beating out Saturday Hero, the 8-5 chalk, by a half a length. Day Trader, trained by Michael Boyce, owned by Michael Boss Racing Stable, had no early speed, moved up on the inside on the turn and drew off to win nicely. Final running time for this 6-furlong event after smoking early fractions, 109-2. We're going to take a quick break. When I come back, we're going to have a couple of Derby races, not as famous as the Kentucky Derby, but with some high quality and big purses. We'll be right back.
Who is this woman? A world-class tennis player? A famous fashion model? No, this is Diane Nelson, one of the nation's top-ranked jockeys. When Diane rides, she wants the best horse. And when Diane has a day off, she wants the best entertainment. And that's at the Teletheater Clubhouse.
If you haven't been to the Teletheater Clubhouse yet, you're missing something. It's really for everyone. Bring your friends, your family, and come on down.
The Teletheater Clubhouse, Central Avenue, Albany.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to move out to Chicago for the Hawthorne Derby, a very rich 3-year-old turf race, $250,000, a mile and an eighth on the turf. Neil Drysdale, Flying Dash was entered. There were thoughts that Flying Dash would enter the Kentucky Derby after a very nice turf score at Keeneland. Neil Drysdale, ever the conservative one, decided to keep Flying Dash on the turf, and let's see how he did in the Hawthorne Derby.
They're off. On the outside, Colorful Tour showing early speed. Down along the inside, Quest Star moves out with Scooter Roach between horses. Then it's Flying Dash, followed on the outside by Mystic Sulse, Robin Z between horses, and the early trailer is Port Cullis. Under the finish wire for the first time, it's Quest Star showing the way by a length and a half. Scooter Roach chasing second. On the inside, Flying Dash now takes over third. Then on the outside in fourth, Mystic Sulse. Robin Z moving up in between horses fifth. Colorful Tour back to sixth and trailing the field, Port Cullis. Field's covered by 7.5 lengths as they move on to the back stretch of a soft turf course here at Hawthorne. On the inside, Quest Star, Scooter Roach right alongside these two now head and head for the lead. Mystic Sulse on the outside is third. Robin Z in between horses fourth. Flying Dash content to sit along the rail in a close-up fifth. Then on the outside, moving up sixth, that's Port Cullis in seventh position. Colorful Tour. They continue their journey, and now they go into the turn. It's Quest Star in a short lead. Scooter Roach still right there, battling on. On the far outside, Mystic Sulse. Flying Dash looking for racing room on the rail. Then in between horses, Robin Z. Followed on the outside by Port Cullis. Then on the inside, it's Colorful Tour. They're at the top of the stretch. Scooter Roach on the outside has a short lead. Down along the inside, Quest Star battles on. Flying Dash looking for racing room. They're homeward bound in the Hawthorne Derby. Scooter Roach has the lead. On the inside, Flying Dash now coming through. Robin Z out in the center of the course, and Flying Dash now quickly up to take the lead and draw away. Scooter Roach racing second. Robin Z third. Then on the outside, Colorful Tour. Victor Espinosa and Flying Dash are in front by 2. Scooter Roach racing second. They come to the wire, and it's Flying Dash in front. Flying Dash won it by 2.5. Scooter Roach second, and Quest Star came back to be third.
And there we have a 1-2 shot scoring very nicely at Chicago, the Hawthorne Derby at 9 furlongs. Flying Dash with Victor Espinosa, who clearly on a roll after winning the Kentucky Derby and now wins another large Saturday stakes race. Flying Dash, Neil Drysdale. This horse has a very, very strong future on the turf. The final running time and the teletimer, certainly some very interesting numbers for pace handicappers. 24-1 for the opening quarter mile, certainly not much to get inquisitive about, but then posted was 52-3, and that seems basically impossible. 6 furlongs, 1:19.2, and to see a final running time less than 2 minutes certainly makes you very, very suspicious of the Hawthorne teletimer. Victor Espinosa, though, making no doubts on this 1-2 shot, sat well off of the early leaders, and whatever pace that may have truly been, made the front and then drew off to win by a very, very comfortable 3 lengths. The reports out of Hawthorne had Flying Dash was a bit fractious in the paddock, and it's hard to imagine that Flying Dash left any of his racetrack after this effort. We'll see where Neil Drysdale takes Flying Dash next, as this seems to be a very, very good 3-year-old on the turf. Scooter Roach, 33-1, the longest shot on the board, ran second. Quest Star finished third. The Exacta came back after a $3 winner of $59.40. The reported final running time of the Rich Hawthorne Derby was 1:58.4. The next Derby we're going to look at is even richer than the Hawthorne Derby. This is the Lone Star Derby. Only a grade 3 status, but a $500,000 purse. These 3-year-olds are going 1 1/8 miles. So let's go to Lone Star and Saturday's running of the Lone Star Derby.
Racing, and a beautiful dispatch. Hard to pick an early leader. Smoked is showing up in the early stages with Cappuccino and Padlock, and Wiseman's Ferry zooming right down the outside will have his head in front as they greet the judges with a lap to go. Wiseman's Ferry 3 wides, a half length in front of Padlock and Cappuccino on the inside. Smoked takes the trail in 4th spot from Screen Idol. Hold the helm on the outside of Peak Skill from Premeditation, who's well back early. Then Windward Passage 10 off the early speed. 4 lengths to Jeremiah Jack and Bay Monster. Trace Mark 49 Deeds second last, and Dusty Spike at the rear. 3/4 mile to go. Wiseman's Ferry cuts them off pretty comfortably and slackens the pace. He's a neck in front. Cappuccino switching to his outside second, and Padlock out 3 wide as third. Smoked 4th, a length to Screen Idol at the 5/8 pole from Peak Skill on the inside of Windward Passage, then Premeditation racing 4 wide. Further back as Hold the Helm, a couple of lengths to Bay Monster outside Jeremiah Jack, 3 lengths to Trace Mark, 4 to Dusty Spike outside 49 Deeds, and the Lone Star Derby field is covered by almost 20 lengths as they come off the back stretch. Wiseman's Ferry the leader. 1 to Cappuccino. Padlock couldn't stick with those any longer. He's dropping out of it, and Smoked progresses to third. He's 4 lengths off the lead midway round the second bend. Further back in the field comes Peak Skill creeping through inside of Padlock, then Windward Passage in the green silks. Trace Mark in the oranges picking off a few runners, but has to come wide as they sweep for home. 3/16 left to go. Wiseman's Ferry leads by 2.5 lengths. In second position along the inside as Peak Skill. Cappuccino's had enough. Out wide on the track, Trace Mark's going to loom as the danger if there is one, but Wiseman's Ferry has a 3-length lead at the 16th pole from Trace Mark and Peak Skill. Then comes Windward Passage. It's Wiseman's Ferry taking the Lone Star Derby, leading most of the way. Trace Mark second, Peak Skill third, Windward Passage fourth.
Well, you put up $500,000, you should get a big full field, and they did down at Lone Star for their Grade 3 feature event. 14 runners went after the $277,000 first place check, and Wiseman's Ferry for Georgie Chavez made every pole a winning one as a 7-1 middle price. Had a tough outside post position, or what we may have perceived as a tough outside post position. Farthest outside, number 14, broke very sharply under Georgie Chavez, and Chavez never looked back. internal fractions of 22 and 2, 46 and 1, 110 flat. Certainly very, very strong fractions for a 9-furlong race by a 3-year-old early in their season. Trace Mark, you needed the old 14-13 exacta, as Trace Mark had the tough outside post position number 13, and Peekskill at 22-1 finished third. This race very contentious. Smokedom, who won a stakes race at Pimlico, was the 3-1 favorite in this race. A very wide open betting race. Windward Passage was the 4-1 second choice. You may recall Windward Passage, the Team Valor runner, had some controversy as he was the 21st runner in the Kentucky Derby when Dan the Bluegrass Man by Bob Baffert was entered at the last moment. Windward Passage thus kept out of the Kentucky Derby. They shipped down to Texas to try the Lone Star Derby for $500,000 and were only able to get $27,000 for running fourth. The Lone Star Derby, Young got to move up from his grade 3 status as they're offering big bucks down there. Full field of 14, strong internal fractions, and a nice final running time for these 3-year-olds going 9 furlongs of 1:49 and 4. Next, we're going to move to Northern California and Bay Meadows. They had 2 stakes races this weekend. First up is going to be the Bay Meadows Breeders' Cup Sprint. This is a 6-furlong contest with $200,000 at stake.
And there they go. It's a beautiful beginning. Explicit is firing out for the lead outside of Senpai. Strike for Glory comes away in third with Alizig. They're going to Mellow Fellow and Swept Overboard. The duel is on between Senpai and Explicit. Explicit has a narrow lead. Further back in third is Alizig. He's about 2.5 from the dueling leaders covering Strike for Glory. It's another 2.5 back to Mellow Fellow, who is outside of Swept Overboard. 22 and 2 for the opening quarter. They advance to the 3/8. Explicit maintains his narrow advantage covering Senpai. Alizig and Strike for Glory have more than 4 to make up. Mellow Fellow rolls into the scene to the far outside. Swept Overboard in behind the trailing group. Final quarter of a mile in the Bay Meadows Breeders' Cup Sprint. Explicit's the horse to catch. Mellow Fellow's into second. Swept Overboard's rolling to the far outside. Final furlong. Explicit shows the way home. Mellow Fellow has a 16th to try to gun him down. Swept Overboard's third. Here comes Mellow Fellow. Mellow Fellow front and center. He wins the Bay Meadows Breeders' Cup Sprint 6 in a row.
Mellow Fellow. Russell Bays, who was dominated racing in Northern California, scores as the 5-2 third choice in the wagering, sat off of the early pace, which was set by Explicit of 22 and 2, 44 and 3, and then deep in the stretch was able to make the lead under Russell Bays and draw out as 5 wide into the stretch under the hand urging of Russell Bays, won rather comfortably. Explicit made the early going, then was able to hold off the even money choice of Swept Overboard to finish second. Swept Overboard, the Bob Baffert runner, who has had much attention after finishing off the board in the Breeders' Cup while being down inside. This horse has a big, big late kick as he was well back early, but as with many race horses in North America, when you are a dead stone closer, you have to have a couple of things go right. He did have a short field, less traffic problems, but the speed didn't come all the way back as Mellow Fellow was able to get first jump on the leaders, and Swept Overboard at even money did hit the board and finish third under Eddie Delahousse. 22 and 2, 44 and 3. Not all that crushing for these runners, but then the 5th quarter miles, they tripped the teletimer in 11 and 3. That takes big going as Mellow Fellow was in high gear at that point to win Saturday's edition of the Bay Meadows Breeders' Cup in a final running time of a quick 1:08 and 1. Next up, we're going to change surfaces, a mile and a 16th on the turf for the Ascot Handicap. This is a grade 3 for 3-year-olds.
From From the outside, Doc Holliday is amongst the leaders with Van Rouge and six-hitter. He Can Dig It is prominent along with Gotta Love Faith. Then we've got a Lawnmower, and at the back of the pack is Blue Slew Shoes, Van Rouge. Doc Holliday, six-hitter, attends the pace from between runners. Lawnmower strides into fourth through the early stages. Gotta Love Faith is toward the rail, saving ground. To his outside is the Maiden, He Can Dig It, and at the back of the pack is Blue Slew Shoes. They're into the clubhouse run, and it's Van Rouge who emerges with the lead, and the margin's 2 over Doc Holliday, who secures a very nice tracking position. Six-hitter is saving ground toward the inside, and Lawnmower's 3 wide. He's with the white silks and the blue cap. He's more than 3.5 from Van Rouge. It's another 2 back to He Can Dig It, covering Gotta Love Faith, and the trailer is Blue Shoes. The opening quarter went in 23-1, and the half went in 46-2 up the Longden Lawn. Van Rouge controlling the pace with a 2-length advantage over Doc Holliday. Lawnmowers in the clear to the outside, trying to make up ground. 6 hitters joined by He Can Dig It. He Can Dig It is closing into the seed. Blue Slew Shoes has more than 6 to make up, and Gotta Love Faith's at the back of the pack. 3 quarters in 1:11. They have to catch Van Rouge. He enters the lane with the lead in the Ascot Handicap. Doc Holliday continues to chase the pace from second. They're going to He Can Dig It. 6 hitters defeated. Further back is Blue Slew Shoes. They are all following in the footsteps of Van Rouge. Van Rouge is free and focused. He wins the Ascot Handicap.
Van Rouge, the 2-1 second choice in this very, very contentious 3-year-old stakes race on the turf. Van Rouge made every pole a winning one, jumped right out to the lead, was pressed by the pace by Doc Holliday early, but then Jason Lumpkins was able to get some distance in the middle of the race and hold off and win by a very, very comfortable 4.5 lengths. Doc Holliday, 5-2 on the board, finishes second. David Flores, this exacta, ran 1-2 around the racetrack. He Can Dig It finishes third, coming from back off the pace, one of the few runners to make any headway in this very, very nice race on the turf. 6-hitter for Russell Bays. Russell, trying to sweep the weekend stakes race, was the 2-1 favorite, finished 5th, out of the money, but these are some serious racehorse times. Van Rouge by Red Ransom, and Red Ransom, a very nice 2-year-old we saw at Saratoga many moons ago. He has turned out in his career to be an outstanding turf sire at a middle distance, so 8.5 furlongs seems to be the maximum output for Red Ransoms. And Van Rouge, 23-1, he made all the fractions, 46-2, and then, as we often see in turf racing, we have something such as a constant velocity, 111 flat, and then 30 seconds, 30.63 to be exact, to run the final 5/16. Just hard to make up any ground when a leader is able to throw that at you. And Van Rouge scores very, very nicely, winning by 4 lengths, returning $6.80 to his backers, trained by Bill Morey, owned by Mrs. Barton Heller, and a final running time of a very sharp 1:41.3. We're going to take our second break. When we come back, we're going to have 2 races from Hollywood Park, and then opening day at Belmont Park, and 4 other stakes races. We'll be right back.
Pimlico will highlight this weekend's stakes action, where on Saturday it'll be the second leg of the Triple Crown, with the 127th running of the Grade 1 $1 million Preakness Stakes. On the undercard, they'll have the Grade 2 $200,000 Dixie Stakes, the Grade 3 $200,000 Maryland Breeders' Cup, the Grade 3 $125,000 Gallaret Handicap, the Grade 3 $100,000 William Donald Schaefer Handicap, the $100,000 Sir Barton Stakes, the $100,000 Woodlawn Stakes, and the $100,000 Hirsch Jacob Stakes. From Belmont Park on Saturday, it's the Grade 2 $200,000 Chuvie Handicap. On Sunday, they'll have the $75,000 Boree Stakes for New York breds. At Churchill Downs Saturday, they offer the Grade 3 $100,000 Early Times Mint Julep. From Calder on Sunday, they feature the $75,000 Carterista Handicap. Hollywood Park on Saturday will have the Grade 3 $100,000 Railbird Stakes, and on Sunday the $75,000 Jim Murray Memorial Handicap. And finally, from Bay Meadows on Saturday, it'll be the Grade 3 $100,000 Yerba Buena Breeders' Cup Handicap. Don't miss any of this weekend's action. Visit your nearest Capital OTB branch.
And now we'll drive down Interstate 5 and land in Southern California. Hollywood Park had 2 stakes races on the weekend. First up is a 2-year-old filly stakes at 5 furlongs, the Nursery Stakes. This is a restricted stakes races, and basically at this time of the year and in this company, this is an opportunity to run in a non-winners of one other than allowance race for a nice juicy purse. The purse, when all was said and done for this race, over $85,000. Most of these runners in here having just a maiden special weight race in their victory column. Only had a field of 6. We did have a 3 to 5 shot. So let's take a look at Saturday's racing at Hollywood, the Nursery Stakes.
They're off. Good start. Enduring Freedom, For the Life of Me, and Global Finance. These 3 are quickest. Silver Shot a close 4th. Singing Swiss is 5th, and the early trailer is Magic Smoke. For the Life of Me is quickest up the backside. She leads 3/4 of a length. Global Finance going to go right after her right now. Silver Shot makes it 3 across the track, leaving the backstretch in the Nursery Stakes. Enduring Freedom, green, and 4th, 8 from the lead. Through from the inside, Singing Swiss. Magic Smoke would have to make up 12 in the final 1/4 of a mile of the Nursery Stakes. For the Life of Me and Global Finance, here comes Global Finance to come, calling for the lead. She's a neck in front of For the Life of Me. Silver Shot can't go on. Now 3rd and 3.5 from the front. Singing Swiss, a nice middle move. Then Enduring Freedom and Magic Smoke, and it is Global Finance to the final furlong, and she's opening up her lead. Global Finance now to the 16th pole, and she's 3 lengths in front. For the Life of Me from the back of the pack, Magic Smoke flies late, but it's too late as Global Finance has won the Nursery. Global Finance won by 4.5. Magic Smoke was 2nd, For the Life of Me 3rd, and Silver Shot finished.
Global Finance, 3 to 5 on the board, returns $3.40 very successfully. David Flores gets the job done. This runner, trained by Doug O'Neill, set off the early lead of For the Life of Me, and then just won by 4 lengths. This 2-year-old filly is by N-Sweep, and a couple years ago, N-Sweep set a world record for winners in a first crop. N-Sweep himself, a very high-class quality sprinter. Global Finance wins early out of the box, scores very impressively. Often with these young baby race stakes races, we're not sure how far they're going to go. They seem to be like young athletes you meet in sports, whether you're playing Little League or Pop Warner. They're just so much ahead of the field earlier in their career, but their advancement seems to slow down. So Global Finance, who I would think up to 7 furlongs would be her game, is able to win a nice stakes race in here at 3 to 5. Hardly drew a breath. 21-4, pressing that pace. 45-3, and then came home in 13 seconds flat, and actually was able to draw off as Magic Smoke was dead last early in this race, and then clunks up to finish an irrelevant 2nd, defeating the early leader For the Life of Me by 2 lengths. The final running time of Saturday's Nursery, 58-3. Sunday's feature at Hollywood Park was a $150,000 stake race, the Mervyn Leroy. This is the first leg of the trilogy of horses races, commencing with the Mervyn Leroy, then the California, and then the big race at the Spring Summer Meet at Hollywood Park, the Hollywood Park Gold Cup. This is a grade 2 at a mile and a 16th. 6 runners in here. Skyjack under Lafitte Pinkai was made the 3-2 betting choice.
They're off. Skyjack and a hard-ridden Bosque Redondo. Bosque Redondo got 2 taps of the whip early by McCarron, but Skyjack is quicker and has the lead. Divine Wind a close 3rd. Agalac is 4 wide early. Then Last Parade, and Bayhead King has dropped out last. Victor Espinoza just cracked him on the shoulder 3 times. Bayhead King not traveling well early as they turn into the backstretch. It is Skyjack and Bosque Redondo. These 2 match strides, and Skyjack's a neck in front. Bosque Redondo is 2nd by a half length. Divine Wind races 3 3 deep. Last Parade is just tucked in behind the leaders. He's 4th and 2 from the front. Then comes Agolac, and 10 lengths last to Bayhead King as they race midway on the backstretch in the 23rd Mervyn Leroy Handicap. Skyjack and Bosque Redondo 1-2. Skyjack dictates he's a neck in front. Bosque Redondo alongside in pressing. Divine Wind is 3 deep. He's less than a length from the front. Agolac is into 4th. He's 2.5 lengths off the lead. Then comes Last Parade, still 10 lengths last to Bayhead King as they leave the backstretch and line up and pick up the tempo. Skyjack and Bosque Redondo still 1-2. Divine Wind is 3 deep. These three get away, and it's Skyjack who sprints to the quarter pole and opens up. Skyjack and Lafitte Pinkai Jr. now in front by 2 lengths. Bosque Redondo and Divine Wind are watching him run away in the Mervyn Leroy. Agolac is 4th. Then comes Last Parade. Bayhead King not today, and Skyjack pours it on the mid-stretch. He has opened up a 5-length lead. Bosque Redondo and Divine Wind battle 2nd and 3rd, but they can do nothing about this front-running score as Skyjack is straight and strong, and he dominates the Mervyn Leroy. Skyjack to crush. Skyjack won by 8. Bosque Redondo 2nd, Divine Wind 3rd, and Bayhead King finish 4th.
Skyjack, another winner on the front end. Stakes winning doubles for front end winners at Hollywood Park. Skyjack 3-2 on the board. Bosque Redondo, the second choice at 2-1. They made this basically a match race as this exacta finish. Ran 1-2 around, returned $5.70 for every dollar you wagered. Skyjack, this offspring of Jacqueline Klugman out of a Skywalker mare, will probably move on to the Californian, or perhaps will skip that race as he likes time between his races and go straight into the Hollywood Gold Cup. Lafitte Pinkai mentioned this many times. This gentleman has had a resurrection in his career, although he has lost the mount on Medaglia d'Oro, as Jerry Bailey will pick him up for the Preakness Stakes, but he doesn't miss a beat. Chris McCarron on the second choice in the wagering was not able to get to the leader. Bosque Redondo chase fractions of 23 and 3, 46 and change, 110 flat, and then a very nice final running time of 1:41 and 1 on the main track at Hollywood Park. When it come back east, spring must truly be here as Belmont Park opened up on Wednesday. We had the Westchester Handicap to kick off the 2002 Belmont Spring Summer Meet.
And they're off. King's Messenger gets off to a sharp start from his inside post. Windsor Castle there on the outside. Dayton Flyer, Open Sesame, and Griffinite all in that front flight of horses. Tucked away in behind them, Comic Genius, followed closely by Free of Love. Then there's a break of 3 back to Seeking Daylight, and Country Begold trails the field as they move up the backstretch. King's Messenger is the pacemaker, being pressed by Dayton Flyer. Open Sesame under a rod to stay with them on the outside. 3rd, Comic Genius up close and on the pace. 4th, Free of Love now 5 lengths from the lead, racing 5th. Griffinite is 6th, and Seeking Daylight is 7th. Windsor Castle is now about 8 or 9 lengths from the lead. The trailer remains Country Begold. They ripped through that first quarter in 22 2/5 seconds. A half in 44 2, a grueling pace here. King's Messenger and Dayton Flyer continue to do battle. Free of Love looms large on the outside 3rd. And just in behind the leaders, Seeking Daylight. And on the far outside, Griffinite is joining the leaders now. Country Begold is beginning to pick off horses with a wide move as the field turns for home. Free of Love takes the lead. Free of Love, the leader at the top of the stretch. Dayton Flyer battles on as Country Begold continues to close. And then it's Griffinite and Windsor Castle looking for a way through. Down toward the inside, Seeking Daylight. It's Free of Love in front. Free of Love, the leader. Dayton Flyer fighting hard. Country Begold on the outside. Here's the wire with Free of Love, the winner. Free of Love wins by a length over Dayton Flyer. Close for 3rd, Country Begold and Seeking Daylight.
Free of Love scores a stakes victory for who other in New York, Jerry Bailey, who was undefeated for the first couple of days at Belmont Park. Free of Love wins the Westchester Handicap, which was moved over from Aqueduct Stakes schedule, and now the kickoff meet for the Belmont Park Stakes calendar. Dayton Flyer finishes second, and Country Be Gold was third. Mile was scored in 1:35.2. Saturday's action at Belmont Park gave us 2 sprint stakes on the card. First up, the 6th race, the Bold Ruler for older colts and geldings, going 6 furlongs. Another race we saw switched from Aqueduct. Kelly Kipp a couple years ago won back-to-back editions of the Bold Ruler, each time setting a new track record for 6 furlongs. Short field in here. Left Bank coming back for Todd Pletcher, prepping for the Metropolitan Mile on Memorial Day. So let's go to Saturday's running of the Bold Ruler.
And they're off. Silky Sweep, a sharp break, but reined in, and Wrangler takes over. Say Florida Sandy is there. Now the far outside left bank. Silky Sweep broke like a rocket, but has tailed off to trail this field of 4. In the meantime, the other 3 go at it head-to-head. Wrangler, Say Florida Sandy, and Left Bank right there with them on the outside. 6 lengths back now to Silky Sweep. Around the far turn. It's Wrangler under heavy pressure all the way. Say Florida Sandy is right there. And the 1-5 favorite, Left Bank on the far outside. A 22-2 opening quarter. 7 lengths behind them, it's Silky Sweep. As they move toward the top of the stretch, Wrangler, Say Florida Sandy, and Left Bank are inseparable. Left Bank has been 3 wide the whole way. Say Florida Sandy right there in between horses. Wrangler on the inside. Now back in third. Farther back, Silky Sweep is putting in his run now. Into the final furlong. Left Bank head-to-head with Say Florida Sandy. Silky Sweep coming with a rousing rally. Left Bank has come away with the lead. Silky Sweep driving hard, coming under the wire. Left Bank wins by a length. Silky Sweep, a heady ride second.
Todd Pletcher first off of the long layoff for Left Bank. Silky Sweep, a runner that I liked in this wagering contest, wasn't able to change leads, but I don't know that he would have run down Left Bank. This horse we've seen for a couple years. Very, very talented horse, has his moments, won the Vosburg, won the Cigar Mile. He's trying to add the Metropolitan Mile. This is one of the horses on the national landscape. Doesn't seem to be much that points him towards an Eclipse Award or a Breeders' Cup race. Not quite a great 6 furlong horse, likes a middle distance. John Velasquez, who I anticipate having another sensational year in New York. He was just so good last year. Been in New York for a month now. Left Bank, one of his premier stakes horses, defeats Silky Sweep. Silky Sweep way back in the pack early, gets up to finish second. And the very, very hard-knocking, one of the best claims of all time this side of John Henry, Say Florida Sandy, finishes third. The final running time for Left Bank and the 6 furlongs in the Bold Ruler handicap, 109.1. The 8th race stakes on Saturday was 7 furlongs, the Nassau County. 7th running of it. This is for 3-year-old fillies. A very strong prep for the Acorn coming up in a couple of days at 8 furlongs. The Nassau County has had 2 winners so far go on to win the Acorn. This was a very, very contentious race. Didn't have the star-studded field we've seen recent, but perhaps one of these 3-year-old fillies in a very, very tough division this year can get a couple of grade 1s by avoiding the big 6. So let's go to Saturday's running of the Nassau County.
And they're off. Whopping breaks alertly, dusts me off to a good start. Wilzada flashing speed on the outside. Lethal Temper comes up from the rail. And then it's Lyrical Prado away running in 5th. Infinite Spirit on the inside is now 6th, followed by None Such Bay and Proxy Statement. They're moving up the backstretch. Wilzada, the fastest of them all. Wilzada quickly opens up, blink of an eye. She's in front by 2.5. Dust Me Off moves to second. Lethal Temper down to her inside. Races in third. Lyrical Prado 3 wide into the turn fourth, followed by Whopping. And then it's Infinite Spirit, followed by None Such Bay and Proxy Statement. The opening quarter in 23 seconds flat. Will Zada takes the field round the far turn. Lethal Temper and Dust Me Off in close pursuit. Whopping is running fourth, and to her outside. Lyrical Prado fifth. A break of 4 lengths back to Infinite Spirit, who's tailing off now. About to be passed by None Such Bay. Proxy Statement trails the field. Will Zada has led every step of the way, and she's got a 3-length lead at the top of the stretch. Will Zada turns for home in front. Dust Me Off floating Whopping wide, but Whopping is coming on. And Will Zada will try to hang in there for another furlong. On the outside, Whopping is coming fast, and so too is None Such Bay. None Such Bay into the breach as they come down to the finish. Whopping short lead. None Such Bay. Here's the wire. None Such Bay by a flared nostril.
The grade 2 goes to None Such Bay. A very nice ride for Javier Castellano. He waited very, very late, split horses, and then defeated my top choice, Whooping, for Mark Henning. None Such Bay does figure to go on to the Acorn. Wasn't the quickest running of the Nassau County, but as you watched it, you thought that coming that deep in the stretch and winning a sprint at Belmont Park might not be the easiest thing to do, but None Such Bay was able to score. Javier Castellano, this is a gentleman on the rise in New York riding colony, just behind the pack of the Edgar Prados and the Jerry Bailey. A nice ride in here, wins the grade 2. Whopping looked to be perhaps a winner at the 8th pole. I don't think his jockey feared anybody inside. He roused them very early at the top of the stretch. It may have been able to slow down that early urging for more gas late in the lead. But then Will Zada finishes third for Anthony Dutro. Will Zada was 3 for 3 lifetime, had a good outside post, used her early speed, but was only able to finish third in her 4th career start, tasting defeat for the first time. The running time for this 7-furlong contest, 1:23.4. Moving over to Sunday, we got Moisture upstate and downstate running the Genuine Risk, going 6 furlongs. Extra Heat, I don't know that you can say anymore. She's carried weight, she's shipped, she's run against the grain of the track. She was in New York again, carrying 126 pounds. The Genuine Risk handicap, we got Moisture in the track. I thought it was going to be run much differently. I thought Dat You Miss Blue, who we saw about 11 months ago, run the fastest 6 furlongs for any filly ever in New York. When she got Moisture in the racetrack, I thought she would just be sent and try and do battle with Extra Heat, as this figured to be the one type of racetrack where she may be able to keep up with Extra Heat. So let's go to Sunday's edition of the Genuine Risk.
And they're off. Dat You Miss blew away quickly, but there goes Extra Heat, and she's in front, and she is on her way to a quick lead here. Extra Heat opens up a length and a half on the very speedy Dat You Miss Blue. La Gallery's alongside her, then Home on the Hill, then Shine Again, and Pleasant County trails the field as Extra Heat takes them into the far turn. The first quarter in 22-1. Extra Heat is the leader. La Gallery hard on her heels, running second. Home on the Hill on the outside is now third, and then it's Dat You Miss Blue, who is backpedaled to fourth. Shine Again rolls up on the outside, and farther back, it's Pleasant County. As the field hits the top of the stretch, Extra Heat turns for home in front by length and a half. La Gallery, Dat You Miss Blue coming up on the inside. Extra Heat's half was 45 seconds flat. Just a tap of the whip there from Harry Vega, and Extra Heat responds. She's by the 8th pole, clear by 2. Shine Again, trying to mount a late bid. Down to the final 16th. Extra Heat, heavy drive, but Extra Heat is home. Once again, the remarkable Extra Heat is the winner. She wins by a length over Shine Again. Farther back, La Gallery was third. Dat You Miss Blue was fourth. The time was 1:10-1.
Extra Heat scores another victory in her illustrious career, carrying 126 pounds. You saw the rain, you saw the mud on the racetrack. Dat You Miss Blue chose not to engage her early as she outbroke the slow-starting Extra Heat. Harry Vega, though, just keeps on keeping on as this filly just adds to her future Hall of Fame statistics. Shine again for Alan Jerkins, finishes second, and La Gallery, who is just a notch below top flight sprinting fillies and mares, gets third, and Dat You Miss Blue, who has good early speed and runs well on the off track, didn't use her speed early, was broken down, and then finishes off the board. The final running time of the Genuine Risk, 1:10.1. That wraps up this week's program. Many stops around the United States with one stop in Canada. Next week's show will be filled with Preakness highlights, Pimlico Racetrack, all eyes turning towards the middle jewel of the Triple Crown. Will War Emblem come to the Belmont Stakes, trying to become the 12th winner of the Triple Crown? Watch and wager at all Capital District locations. So from everyone at Capital OTB, have a great week. We'll see you next week on Horses and Courses.